Hey all you pretty people out there, I am Sam and you're watching Test Driven TV. Today we've got a car I think is pretty special, likely one of the last Lexus RC coupes I'll ever test drive from this generation. This is the 2023 RC350 all-wheel drive with the special appearance package. A bit of a celebration for the lineage of this particular model. So we're going to show it to you inside and out. We're going to take it for a drive and then I'm going to tell you what I really think. All right, my friends, so let's talk about what we've got here. This is the 2023 Lexus RC350 all-wheel drive in F Sport trim. And as tested, we're at $61,000 and some change. Now, that is pretty spendy for the RC, but it's got a lot of options on it, namely the special appearance package that you can see. And this comes with this beautiful gray paint and a black roof, a black hood, and a number of other little details that make it special. So as we look at the styling, a slight refresh was done since 2015, and so things like the headlights and some of the little details around the grille and the fascia has been updated. But when we look at the grille, this has a dark metallic finish with dark black chrome, which I think really looks great with this color combination. Triple beam LED headlamps on this one, which is an option. Now coming around the corner, this also has special wheels with this appearance package. 19-inch Anki wheels with a dark metallic finish and some nice rubber on those. Look at that, nice low profile tires with a wide section. F Sport badge, and even here the mirror has a two-tone cap that matches the color scheme of the car. From this angle, you can see how that black roof really does sort of split up the silhouette just a little bit. But what I really like about this car is that while it was very controversial when it was first released back in 2015, it has changed just slightly, just a few details, but it remains pure to its original design. And it's really come to look like home in a sea of a lot of other cars which have gotten a little bit less distinctive, I think. And so that goes to the sculpting and the creasing going down the sides and the rockers, this interesting little kick up here in the roof line and the window line, and at the back, the deck lid with the sort of built-in ducktail silhouette. Now the taillights, LED taillights here, and they kind of have that anti-Edna sort of sunglass look to them with the way they jut out there at the top leading edge. And down in the lower fascia, not a lot of big ovation down there in terms of a high-performance splitter design, but there are genuine exhaust tips down there, which means that air actually blows through them. What a novel idea. The interior of the RC is a place that I have loved since day one. And honestly, it hasn't changed a great deal in terms of its overall design, but there are a lot of detail improvements that have come over the years that have really addressed the issues that myself and a lot of journalists really talked about at the beginning. First of all, looking at what we've got, the materials in here are of an extremely good quality. A lot of soft stitching on top of the dash, on the door panels where your arms lay. And here in this particular model with the appearance package are some beautiful seats with yellow accents, yellow striping, yellow stitching. And these are the F Sport seats, which are phenomenally comfortable. I absolutely love them. Some of the best chairs in the automotive business, no matter the cost. As I sit here and look forward, I've got a leather steering wheel in my hand with paddle shifters, and ahead of me is the instrument cluster that the LFA made famous. You press the button on the steering wheel and it moves over and gives you a different look and feel and functionality. Yes, it's a toy, but it's a very cool one. Looking at the center stack, a new screen for 2023. This is sort of brought over from the IS. It's a larger screen that fills the whole spot now, which is something I always complained about in the previous generations. And that is a touchscreen now. It's also controlled by the trackpad down on the center console. Looking down at the center stack, HVAC controls with the touch capacitive bars and power, volume, and a CD player. Mark Levinson audio in this one, heated and ventilated seat controls, and a conventional shifter. Now this shifter is not just a conventional shifter, it's actually attached with a linkage. You can feel the powertrain through this shifter, especially when you're driving it hard. You can see it moving around, you can feel it moving around. It's the real deal. A knob off to the side for the drive modes, and cup holders off to the side so they're out of your way for big tall cups, and storage Inside here, this is about the size of a rectangular tissue box, and there's lots of ports down inside there as well. This is a pretty tight passenger compartment, and that's especially known by the fact that when I have the all-wheel drive, there's a bit of a hump on the floor underneath my calf. Down underneath it, I could feel just sort of massaging the back of my leg as I lay here. Just one of the little prices you pay for the all-wheel drive. It's adorable. And the back seat, it's really kind of made for kids. I mean, you can put adults back there, but the front seats have to be moved forward to make room for that. Now, the trunk, pretty good size for a sport coupe. And looking around in there, you can see that those back seats can fold down in a 60-40 split to allow longer things to come through. All in, I absolutely love this interior. I have given it high marks in all of the previous test drives, and I'm going to continue to do so. It's got some of the best materials available at any price. It's got an excellent design, now improved by the driver controls here in the center. It's just a comfortable place to do business of driving. This interior gets 5 out of 5 stars. Looking at the human interface and infotainment system for 2023, it is greatly improved. Now, this is the full boat optional system with a larger screen. Not only is it a larger screen, but it is now a touch screen. No longer do you have to depend solely on this device down here, which is a good thing because I never really like the trackpad that much. And so now I can use this as a touch screen, a lot quicker, a lot more direct to get to what you want and how you want. Hard controls down here on the center stack for this. This still has a CD player. Can you believe it? Talk about old school. One of the few cars I've seen in the last 3 to 4 years that still has a CD player in it. But yes, power and volume knobs and buttons across the bottom. The nice little Mark Levinson light up there on the lower part of that to let you know you spent the money. And I got to tell you, it sounds worth the money. And I've always said that about the Mark Levinson sound systems. They are worth the dollars. Now, one of the great things about this system is that it doesn't have the full cloud-based connectivity that some of the latest generation systems from Toyota and Lexus have. It's still a little bit on the old school last generation side, which I prefer because it's easier to use and the functionality is native. The majority of what you get here doesn't go away just because you're not doing a subscription. So this system not only sounds good, it looks good, it works good, it's much easier to use. The backup camera, still a small screen, not a 360-degree view, but we don't really expect that so much in a sports car. This is a system I absolutely love. It gets 5 out of 5 stars. So let's talk about handling. This is a car that is based on the Lexus IS sedan, as I've mentioned, and it's a chassis that I have loved every time I've driven it because it feels solid. It's precise. It's got that same car from a brick feeling that a Mercedes-Benz is known for, but when you throw it into a corner and drive it on a curvy road, it's got precision and sharpness in its chassis. Now here we have all-wheel drive. We have the adaptive variable suspension, which comes with the F Sport. So you can dial this up to stiff and sporty, or you can dial it back to a little bit more relaxed. Either way, this is a chassis that is just a joy to throw around on a back road. Now, road noise is 70 miles an hour on our test. This gets 62.7 decibels. That is a little bit on the higher side of average, and I do attribute that to these wider tires, but it's still a pretty muted experience in here. That is mostly sort of a dull road noise, very little wind noise, but this car just feels athletic, even though it is on the heavier side, especially with the all-wheel drive, 3,800 pounds, but when you throw it into a corner, woof, it just goes, it just does it, no drama at all. This is a car that just sticks, and it feels of quality, and it's always just made me enjoy driving it hard, driving it fast. I've taken these on the track. This is a car that's not going to disappoint when it comes to the handling and driving experience. Another quarter. I can just throw it in there and not worry about it. And the refinement level is very good as well. That was a cattle guard. Barely noticed it. So yes, just very well done, very well tuned. This is a chassis that doesn't feel old at all. It gets 5 out of 5 stars. Now let's talk about what's under the hood. This is actually something getting to be pretty rare in the market these days. This is a naturally aspirated V6, 3.5 liters. That means no turbos. It's got 311 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. All-wheel drive is optioned here, which means it has a 6-speed automatic instead of an 8-speed like the rear-wheel drive model. So if you watch my videos, you know the question I always like to ask is, how does it go? So I'm going to come to a complete stop. There's nobody out here. We're out in the middle of absolute nowhere. And go. Oh, nice sound. Ooh, listen to that. And 60. Oh, listen to that. And 100. Ooh, better slow down. Oh man, that's intoxicating. Did you hear that? Oh, I gotta slow down around this corner again. Woo-wee. Ah, nothing like a naturally aspirated engine to really help the ears out. So, one thing that is noticeable is the fact that we do only have a 6-speed automatic transmission here, not the 8, and certainly not a 10 like some of the competitors out there might offer these days. And so it is a little bit more of an older experience in that way, but it still performs quite well. Now, fuel economy, this is 18 city, 24 highway, and 21 combined. In my week with it, I got about 18, so not quite there, but part of that's because it doesn't have auto start stop. It doesn't have, you know, any of those things that make driving a polluted mess in some of its competitors these days. So I am very happy, cattle guard, with this powertrain. This powertrain gets 5 out of 5 stars. Yeah. I could do this all day. All right, my friends, I am smitten with this car. Can you tell? I love the interior. I love the styling. I love the way it feels going down the road. I love its sound. And now we're going to talk about value. Do I love its value? $61,000 and some change. This is pretty much fully loaded. You can spend more money here and there. You can get the RCF and spend a lot more money with the V8 and the extra performance there. But I think this is a nice place to be in terms of the package and the overall car. Competitiveness. You have cars like the Infiniti Q60, which is faster, maybe. It's got more horsepower available. You've got the Audi A5. You've got the Mercedes C-Class Coupe. I really think this is best in segment, and that's my own personal opinion. And part of the reason is because it is the oldest. It doesn't have auto start stop. It doesn't have turbo. It doesn't have a lot of the things that have fettered up the enjoyment of the modern sport car. So I like it because of the fact that it is a little bit behind the times. Pretty rare for me to say that, but it's just a solid choice that still has a little bit of purity in a place that doesn't have very much of it left. So I put value at 5 out of 5 stars because of the quality, because of the everything that this car offers. When you put that in with everything else we've already talked about, this is a 5-star car. So if you watch my channel for a while and you wonder what gets a 5-star rating, this is it. This is it. And you know what else? It goes on my buy it list, which is my highest recommendation. If I were looking for a luxury sport coupe right now, this would be the car I'd buy, period, over all the others. And yes, some of the others offer this, that, and the other that's a little bit better, but this is the best all-around quality, the living experience, and for me, just pure enjoyment. So there you go. Yeah. So if you like what we do, follow us on social media. We do a lot of stuff there that we don't do videos on. You can see that down there. You can see our latest video right there, but better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel right there. We're hitting 100K subscribers any day now, and you can be a part of that. Please join the crew. Either way, stay tuned.